Hey guys, and welcome back to the Paper Umbrella. My name's Jessie, and we're going to talk about Disney World again today. It's my favorite. Specifically, I want to talk about the Fast Pass system and the Fast Pass Plus, whatever you want to call it, system. I've got my little notes here, so if you see me looking down, that's why. If you're new to Disney or you haven't been in a while, the Fast Pass system is a good way to make the most out of your time, to make sure you're not waiting in line for decades, and to really get out there and have fun and still, have that Disney magic with you instead of standing in line for 3 hours for one ride. I'm looking at you, Slinky Dog. You are not worth it. So let's talk a little bit about Fast Pass and what it is. So the Fast Pass is a reservation system, basically. You can make a reservation to ride a ride at a pre-selected time. These reservations, if you will, are in 1 hour time slots. So 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, whatever. And yes, they will get on the 5. I think they're every 5 minutes. So you can get a 105 to 205 or a 110 to 210. It just depends on what you luck out getting for that. So let's talk a little bit about the differences between a Fast Pass and a Fast Pass Plus. So many moons ago, when Disney had their Fast Pass original system, the Fast Pass system was with paper cards. So you had to be at the terminal in order to get, or at the ride, there was a little terminal at the ride where you would insert your tickets and then you would get out this paper piece of a thing that you would have to keep a hold of, and that was your literal physical Fast Pass. Now Disney has Fast Pass Plus, which is all through their My Disney Experience app. So you don't have to participate in the stroller derby. You're not going to get knocked out of the way by somebody on one of those little scooters, because they will run you over on those things at Disney World. So you don't have to do that with these. They are a little bit easier to get, but at the same time they're harder because now they're a little bit more available. So they're not physical anymore, they're all electronic. And you can make up to 3 of these before you even set foot in the park. So if you're staying at a Disney resort, you have 60 days in advance you can make your Fast Passes, and if you're staying off property, you can make them 30 days in advance. So it's just another perk that Disney offers for staying on resort, is to get those Fast Passes a little bit earlier and to get that availability just a little bit earlier for those hard to get rides. But you can only do them for 1 park per day. So if you're a park hopper and you're going to Epcot in the morning and then you're going to Magic Kingdom in the evening, you can really only make them for 1. So if you don't want to use them in Epcot, then you can make them for later in the day in Magic Kingdom. But if you want to use them in Epcot, if you want that test track, you want that Soarin', you want that Frozen Ever After one, you have to get it very, very early in the day. You can only do it for Epcot, and then after we'll go over that in a second. You can only do them in 1 park per day for those pre-selected ones. And then certain parks have tier systems. So for Epcot, you can do Frozen Ever After, you can do Test Track, you can do Soarin'. You can pick one of those, and then that's a tier 1, and then everything else is going to be a tier 2. For Animal Kingdom, it's anything in Pandora's tier 1, everything else is tier 2. Hollywood Studios, currently Toy Story is tier 1, everything else is tier 2. I'll keep you guys updated as soon as I know what's going on for Star Wars with that, because I'm sure things will change. I don't know if they'll have everything be tier 1 or tier 2. I don't know how that's going to work, because they will have 2 relatively new lands in the same park. I don't know yet. But I'll keep you guys updated. And then in Magic Kingdom, it's a free-for-all. Tier 1, there's no tiers. Everything, you can get whatever you want in that one. So here's my biggest, so that's a basic overview of the Fast Pass system. It is free too. I don't know if I mentioned that. It's absolutely free. So let's use it. And so these are ways to make the best of that system. My tip for this is, my number 1 tip is plan them out. So take a look, ask your family, what are the big rides that your family wants to ride? If you guys are adrenaline junkies, you're gonna want to make those for Space Mountain. You're gonna want to make them for Flight of Passage from Pandora. You're gonna want to make those big name, high ticket, those hyped up rides. You're gonna want to make them first, and you're gonna want to make them early, but you're gonna want to make them first. And then everything else you can kind of make after that. So if you're gonna, make those, figure out what's important to your family, make those plans. So do you have children? Are they on an Elsa Fiends? Well, then you're going to want to make that Frozen Ever After one. So figure out which Fast Passes you want to make. Don't just kind of, let's see what they have. It never ends well. Go ahead and plan out what you want and make sure you grab those up first. My second advice is to wake up early that day. So if you're on that 90-day mark, wake up at, I think you can get them at 6 o'clock Eastern time is when you can first get them. So for me, that's 5 o'clock because I'm Central time. So I'm going to wake up at 5 o'clock. I'm going to make those fast passes at 5 because I'd rather wake up a few minutes, make those fast passes, than go back to sleep and save myself hours in line than to stand hours in line and, have that 5 minutes extra snooze. So that's just me, but I would say my big tip would be to wake up early. Book those big rides first. Like I was saying, if you have one of those tier 1 rides, book them first. Do not do the other two first. You want to make those, you want to get those out of the way to make sure that you can actually get to ride them, because there are a limited number of fast passes per ride per day. So if you don't get them, then you're stuck in line with everyone else. Make them back to back. So once you use your first 3 fast passes that you've pre-made, you can make other ones, but you have to use all 3 first. So I'm a rope dropper. I like to be there at the very beginning of the day. I like to be at the very beginning of the park. So when they first open. So for me, I like to make mine for 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12. So that way I can make, a fast pass for the rest of the day. So I'm not stuck waiting until 5 in the afternoon, 5 in the evening, honestly, to make the rest of my fast passes. I can really make them, if I do back to back to back, I can really make them for whenever I want to after that. I would also say have a dedicated person to make your fast passes. So I'll do another video on the My Disney Experience app later once I get a little bit more technologically savvy, because I don't quite know how I would do that yet. But you want to have one person be your fast pass person. I find this is easier, so that way they have control of everybody, so that way they can add everybody, and really it just makes it a lot easier to have one person do that. My favorite thing, I guess my number one biggest hack that maybe even experienced Disney people don't know, is that once you have taken your little magic band or your ticket and you've done your fast pass, your third or whatever fast pass for that day, and you're eligible to book another one. So if you've done that number 3, so you've ridden Space Mountain, you've ridden Big Thunder, and now you're on Splash. Once you take your band and put it on Splash Mountain to clock in for it, you can then go back into the My Disney Experience app and make another one immediately. While you're still basically in line for that other ride, you can go ahead and make your other fast pass. I know that I don't love the pre-show for Rock and Roller Coaster. So after we got on and clocked in for Rock and Roller Coaster during the pre-show, I was on my phone making another fast pass for Tower of Terror, honestly, immediately afterwards. So that would be my biggest thing, is just know that you can make another fast pass after your initial 3, and you can make it as soon as you clock in for your last fast pass. So use that. I know that we saved ourselves tons of time in line by doing that, and we really made the most of our days by doing that. I think the longest we stayed in line was 2 to 3 hours for Slinky Dog. Not again. I've never ridden it, so it was nice to ride it. But that was the most we stood in line for anything. I think after that It's a Small World. And then it was my sister had to ride it. And I'm not a big fan, but I wish we would have fast passed that as well. But I think we were waiting for another fast pass to go, and I think we waited maybe 30 minutes, and that was the longest we waited in line for anything. So that's my tip to you guys, is to use the fast pass system, because a lot of people don't know it exists, but to also make yours early. Make them that 60 days, make them that 30 days in advance, and to, while you're in the park, really use the system to your advantage. I feel like that is the difference between a good trip and a great trip. So yeah, that's my things. If you guys have any questions about any touring plans or fast passes or anything about Disney World, leave me a comment down below. I'll be more than happy to help you guys out. You can always send me an email. My email is thepaperumbrella.travel@gmail.com, or you can go to my handy dandy website that I made and love at www.thepaperumbrella.com. Go and leave me a message. Let me know if you have any questions. As always, please comment, please like, please subscribe. Something about a bell. I don't know. I'm new here, so yeah, all that kind of good stuff. But I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. That's it for the Paper Umbrella. So now go out there and make some waves.